Star Trek's next show will bring back Klingons with a massive twist. The Klingons are returning, but not in the way you think. After decades of evolving from brutal enemies to uneasy allies and back again, Star Trek's most iconic warrior race is about to be reinvented once more. Rumors swirling around Paramount's next Star Trek series suggest that the Klingons will not only play a central role, but the creative team plans to deliver a massive twist that could completely change how fans see them. This isn't just another makeup redesign or political subplot. It's a bold reimagining that could shake the franchise to its core. If this new series truly follows through on its premise, we might finally understand the Klingons in a way no Star Trek show has dared to explore before. The Klingons' long evolution in Star Trek. Before diving into what this twist could be, it's worth remembering how the Klingons have transformed across the franchise. In Star Trek, the original series, they were thinly veiled stand-ins for Cold War adversaries, ruthless, calculating, and utterly without compassion. With their smooth foreheads and militaristic bravado, they were Starfleet's primary threat in the 23rd century. Then Star Trek, the motion picture, arrived in 1979 and changed everything. The Klingons were reborn with new ridged foreheads, guttural language, and a proud warrior culture inspired by samurai and Viking traditions. Later series like The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine built on this, turning Klingons from cartoonish villains into complex, honorable warriors with deep-rooted traditions, politics, and family loyalties. By the time Star Trek Discovery launched in 2017, the Klingons had been redesigned once again, this time more alien and religiously zealous than ever before. But while Discovery's Klingons were visually striking, many fans felt they lost some of the nuance and humanity that made characters like Worf, Marduk, and Gowron so memorable. Now, with Star Trek's next big project, rumored to follow Starfleet Academy or possibly set in the Legacy timeline, Klingons are being reintroduced with a massive twist that promises to unify these past portrayals while taking them in a direction the franchise has never dared to go. A new era of Klingons, the post-Federation alliance. According to early production whispers and industry speculation, the new Star Trek series will take place after the events of Star Trek Picard Season 3, a time when the galaxy is still reeling from the Borg's final stand and the collapse of key power structures. The Federation, though surviving, is weakened, and into that power vacuum steps the Klingon Empire. But this isn't the Klingon Empire fans remember. Rather than being a unified, proud warrior culture, the Empire is fractured, some houses embracing Federation ideals of peace and cooperation, while others yearn to reclaim the old ways of conquest. A twist. The Klingons might not be a single species anymore. The shocking twist. Klingons is a hybrid civilization. One of the most intriguing rumors about the upcoming Star Trek show suggests that the Klingons will be revealed to have splintered into multiple genetic and cultural subgroups after centuries of bioengineering, war, and assimilation. This would finally explain one of Star Trek's longest-running inconsistencies, the physical differences between Klingons from the original series and later series. Rather than hand-waving it away as a virus as Enterprise once did, the new show could canonize the idea that there were always multiple kinds of Klingons, different strains, lineages, or even genetic casts bred for distinct purposes. Imagine a Klingon scientist explaining that honor was once a tool of control, a social code engineered to maintain stability among a warrior population bred for battle. In other words, the Klingons we've known for centuries might not just be one species, but a mosaic of engineered tribes forced together under a single empire. The revelation could set off a political and cultural firestorm within the galaxy, forcing Starfleet and the Federation to reassess their entire history with the Klingon people. The return of honor, and its redefinition. A core theme of any Klingon story is honor. From Worf's lifelong struggle to live up to it, to Martok's rise from exile, Klingon honor has always defined who they are. But what if that very concept was challenged? If the new show's twist truly leans into the hybridization theory, the series could explore the idea that honor itself was a myth, a manipulated ideology used by Klingon rulers to keep their diverse species united. Imagine a young Klingon commander discovering ancient records revealing that the first High Council engineered the concept of battle honor to mask their genetic experiments. This would turn Klingon society inside out. Suddenly, their most sacred tradition would be exposed as propaganda, and the Klingons would have to decide whether to cling to the illusion of unity or face their fractured reality. It's the kind of philosophical upheaval that Star Trek thrives on, and it fits perfectly with the franchise's current direction. Shows like Picard and Strange New Worlds have leaned into the psychological consequences of legacy, identity, and truth. A story where Klingons confront the origin of their own mythology could become one of Star Trek's most profound cultural commentaries yet. A familiar face could return. Worf's final test. If there's one character who must appear in a Klingon-focused series, it's Worf. Michael Dorn's legendary Klingon has been the franchise's most consistent presence since 1987, and his journey in Picard Season 3 proved that there's still more story to tell. Imagine Worf returning as an ambassador or mentor figure, drawn back into Klingon politics as his people face this new existential crisis. For a warrior who has spent his life reconciling two cultures, this could be his final test, to help his people find a new definition of honor that transcends bloodlines, genetics, or empire. It would be poetic symmetry. Worf began as a Klingon among humans, forever caught between two worlds. Now, he could help unite the divided Klingon species, or die trying. The visual redesign, returning to the past to build the future. Another likely part of this massive twist involves the Klingons' appearance. Fans have long debated the various designs, from TOS's minimal prosthetics to Discovery's elaborate insectoid look. This new series reportedly aims to merge these aesthetics, using the lore twist to justify the differences. Each Klingon faction could sport its own distinct features: smoother foreheads for classic lineages, heavier ridges for warrior breeds, and unique armor styles reflecting their heritage. This would make the Klingon Empire visually diverse for the first time, turning cultural divisions into a storytelling tool rather than a production inconsistency. It also opens the door for Star Trek to comment on genetic purity, cultural assimilation, and identity politics, themes that resonate deeply in today's world. Why the galaxy needs the Klingons again. For decades, Klingons were Star Trek's backbone, the mirror through which humanity saw its own aggression, honor, and pride. But since Discovery and Picard focus more on Starfleet internal conflicts and new threats like the Borg and Changeling infiltrators, the Klingons have been conspicuously absent. This new series could correct that imbalance. Bringing back the Klingons isn't just fan service, it's a return to one of Star Trek's richest wells of storytelling. Their culture forces the Federation to confront uncomfortable questions about power, unity, and morality. And if the twist truly reveals deep fractures within Klingon society, it could serve as a warning for the Federation's own future. What happens when a great alliance starts to splinter from within? What does honor mean when truth shatters the myths that held a civilization together? Those are the kinds of questions